As you said, this happened when I was 21. I remember everything, which is strange considering I usually have a horrible memory. I forget what I did yesterday and what I ate for dinner. But I suppose God granted me the ability to remember everything. Everything I saw, everyone, and everything they told me. I remember it like yesterday. I think my memory gave me the ability to tell my narrative in detail and clarity. It started when my dad, a lifelong salesman, won a sales contest. He won these two heads, or scooters, which we rode often, especially on weekends. I crashed into a tree one weekend. I tore my right hand tendons and had surgery to repair them. At 21, I had never had surgery, not much hospital time, or anesthesia. On operation day, I had an adverse response to the anesthesia. It stopped my heart, and I died for 7 minutes. I had a near-death experience in that 7 minutes. This happened in 1987. I didn't know what happened because near-death experiences weren't discussed. The amazing thing is we all have spirit guides. My spirit guide, Alan, introduced himself during this event. He stated, "I'm your spirit guide." This individual took me to all these other sites on the other side. He led me outside to see these places and then inside so I could tell folks. This was strange since it felt like it took an hour or two, yet it only took 7 minutes. Giving your audience a little history on a normal near-death experience can help them understand what happened to me. When someone talks about having an NDE, they usually die in an accident or during surgery and float above their body. They're staring down and see the accident site, physicians, and what's occurring. Then they see a tunnel with a white light at the end. As they travel down this tunnel, a family member, friend, grandparent, or acquaintance informs them, "It's not your time. You must return. You must work harder." Yes, exactly. Not your time. Don't be here yet. You must work more. Before my experience, we didn't know what happened when someone entered the light at the end of the tunnel. I was surprised that they skipped all that and put me on the other side of that white light, where my adventure began. Wow. Here I am in the hospital. After the anesthesia, my heart pauses, and I opened my eyes to view the most magnificent structure I had ever seen. This lovely white marble was so long I couldn't see the end. Must have been kilometers long. To my right were stunning white columns, maybe 20 or 30 feet high, that ran down approximately 6 feet apart. In the middle of the building between these columns were these lovely white marble tables with 4 benches on each side, down as far as you could see. 2 persons sat at each table. These tunnels to my left were breathtaking. They were black and appeared like solid marble carved at 90 degrees angles like a doorway. As if peering into space, they descended this corridor again. Tunnel, then table, then column. My spirit guide told me what I saw as it happened. I can tell folks what happened that way. He kept talking to me in my left ear and informed me I was in the orientation center. When people go down a tunnel and cross that white light, they immediately enter the orientation center. These people at the tables are orientation counselors. They're there because most of us don't recall our roots by purpose. I assume God did it because few of us recall our roots. We forget we're from the other side and going to Earth to study and experience. My guide told me what I saw and urged, "Look up to the next tunnel." I saw a man coming through the tunnel when I looked up. He was an elderly man in his 80s or 90s, with his right hand gripping his left chest like he had chest trouble. His last lifetime ended with a heart attack, according to my guide. As soon as he entered the tunnel, the woman at the table stood up. They sat at his table after she took his 2 hands and led him back. She kept grasping his hands while he sat across from her. I saw her talking to him but was too far away. I couldn't hear her talking to him. My guide informed me that orientation counselors remind people of their roots, that she was telling him, "Your lifetime is over. Now that you're home, I'll assist you find your way." The whole thing was amazing. I was listening to my partner say this in my ear, unaware that I had died. I didn't understand. As he told me what was happening, I watched it unfold. At the end of my encounter, I realized I died. All of this was new. He told me to watch this dude, so I did. The oddest thing was that he changed from an elderly guy to a man in his late 20s or early 30s. I was told by my guide that everyone on the opposite side is 20 or 30. He didn't explain why. Everyone on the opposite side is young. I think God made us that way. Not sure if it was because Jesus died in his 30s. No idea, but he informed me that everyone's younger on the other side and that we only age when we start a lifetime, which is part of living, going through all these life stages. However, we're young. The most stunning element of my location and orientation center was this. After she finished talking to him, he returned to his natural self and remembered that he's from the other side, our home. Earth isn't our home. We're here to learn, experience, and grow. Yeah, he stood up, walked right, and descended these 3 stairs into the grounds. I've never seen such gorgeous gardens, like an English garden, perfect, manicured, lovely. It looked like that. I've never seen such lush grass, trees, flowers, and vegetation. He must have seen hundreds of people waiting for him on the right as he descended these stairs. I discovered that after orientation, you have the union, where you meet your parents, friends, family, and all the people you knew on the other side before you came into this lifetime. This is why, and I thought it was amazing. Earth life is hard, thus coming into it is a major event. We all go through difficult times to learn. I discovered that many people don't want to come here since it's hard. We'll discuss their preference for other planets in a moment. This is a major affair, and everyone was there to greet him. They were cheering and saying, "Congrats, you did it. You finished that lifetime," because it's a big deal to be here, and I thought it was wonderful that everyone you knew is there. What I didn't understand when I was watching these orientation counselors talk to people who came through the tunnels was how they knew who was coming through because there were no computers, papers, or anything on these tables. I don't understand how they know when someone dies and comes to the tunnel. Still don't comprehend it, but it's beyond my comprehension. They all know, and so do the people that come to see them. I don't know how they accomplish that, but someone passes. That was the first half of my near-death experience. When we cross over, conclude our lives, and die, we walk through the tunnel, light, orientation center, and reunion. So that's how this near-death happened. My guide led me to these places from here. He led me to this wonderful rectangular structure next, and all of his places were huge. These skyscrapers were too big to describe. We have nothing on Earth as big as the locations he took me. A few years back, I found this temple while Google hunting. The Temple of Artemis is in Turkey, right? It resembles the orientation center I was in. If your audience wants to see that, they may Google the Temple of Artemis in Turkey to see what it looked like. This next thing had columns along the outside of a large rectangle, and he took me inside. When I got inside, I was in a round space that looked like a movie theater, but it had movie screens on top that went around in a wide circle, perhaps 15 or 20 of them. My guide says this is your life review. I learned that after someone returns from a lifetime, they have a life review to evaluate if they achieved their goals. Like a movie, all these screens came on, each showing a distinct part of my life up to 21. One screen showed me as an infant, the next as a toddler, and the next as a kindergartner. My guide asked me to tell them that everyone must have a life evaluation after death. Nobody avoids that, and the goal is to observe how you progressed and achieved your goals. Also fascinating about the life review, you can sense how you interacted with individuals. You see all the good times you engaged with people, but you also see the times you injured someone, maybe unintentionally, and feel their pain. You feel love and compassion for someone in your life review. What it feels like to hurt someone is also felt. For learning, you can feel what they felt.